I don't have a funny gag for this opening. Hello everyone, and welcome to Reviewing While I Draw Badly, the show where I review video games while drawing badly. Today I will be reviewing Dragon Quest Builders 2 from Square Enix and Omega Force. The game is a sequel to the first Dragon Quest Builders, which in itself is a spin-off of the Dragon Quest series of RPG games. Something I should note is that while I loved the first Dragon Quest Builders game, I've actually never played any of the mainline Dragon Quest series, nor do I have any knowledge about the games whatsoever, and when I played the first Dragon Quest Builders game, I think I paid zero attention to the plot. This means that I went into Dragon Quest Builders 2 completely blind. Anyway, starting the game, your character, who is a builder, has been captured and put on a ship full of monsters. Monsters called the Children of Hargon. These followers of Hargon believe that building anything is blasphemy, but their ship needs repairs, so you have to fix it in a tutorial quest line. And the monsters are hilarious and some of the brightest spots of characterization in the whole story. Fight me. Eventually, the ship wrecks and you wash up on a beach only to find a man named Marloth and a woman named Lulu have also washed up. You then encounter this weird spirit thing with a hammer that sets you off to 3 different large islands to learn how to farm, how to mine, and how to fight, and all the blueprints that go with each. Lulu stays behind on your main island while you and Marloth go to these other places to learn things so that you can stop the Children of Hargon when the time comes, because they are coming for you. Let me just say right now, Marloth is a great character. Through the whole game he follows you around, with the exception of a few moments that I'm not going to spoil. And while you are capable of building anything you set your mind to, Marloth can only destroy. No matter how hard he tries, he just can't build anything. As an almost totally silent protagonist, there is actually a good amount of interaction with the other characters where you still feel like your main character has a personality and not just one that you've sort of pushed onto them. Also, there's a ton of interaction between Marloth and the other NPCs. The main NPCs are all well fleshed out and feel like very well-rounded characters. I even cried at a few points because I'd gotten so attached to some of these NPCs. This game has a great build-up for both story and difficulty. The storyline itself is engaging, fueled by the wonderful and vibrant characters. Marloth, as I said before, is a standout, and his self-discovering journey also helps to keep the plot clipping along at a fairly good pace. While at each of the 3 islands, you can choose to stay longer once the main quest line has been completed and continue building. The intrigue the game sets up, however, allows the players to strike a good balance of feeling like they've done enough while not being forced to go back to the main island too quickly. You can also return to the other islands whenever you want, with a few exceptions, so there's no rush to 100% everything on each island. As for the difficulty build-up, the game starts out with you building simple structures and ends with you building things like pyramids and castles and entire rivers and whatever else your mind can conjure up. While the NPCs do help you build these large structures, and there are blueprints in place for some of them if you want a guide, it still feels like a great undertaking that has you proud when you finally finish it. Plus, then you get to furnish everything basically however you like, and that's my favorite part. The monster battle difficulty also ramps up, and at no time did I ever feel under or over leveled, with the exception of the elite enemies on the bonus islands, where, man, it's my own fault for trying to fight a dragon when I was not totally done the game and fully leveled. For the most part, the controls are pretty solid, building feels good, and putting blocks down does feel like it has a real weight to it and is quite satisfying. However, switching tools can be a bit fiddly. If I had a loonie for every time I picked up a block instead of smashing it, I'd have like 500 bucks. It is worth noting I played the game on the Switch because I wanted to be able to play it in handheld mode and carry it around with me. For more casual building and farming games, I generally prefer to play in my bed or on my deck or on my couch or whatever. I do wonder if some of the other issues I ran into with this game, people on other consoles did not have. For example, I don't know if the controls are as fiddly on something like the PS4 as they are on the Switch, but they were a little fiddly. One thing that I think maybe is just the Switch, but I have to talk about it anyways, is that the busier an area got, the more likely I was to encounter lag, frame rate drops, graphical slowdowns, stuff like that. And it's quite frustrating since I was in the process of redecorating and completely populating my whole main island, mostly with cats. Also, seriously, get more cat colors than white. Come on, game. Come on, cats come in other colors. Let's go. One thing that did improve since the first game is it is much easier to look inside of buildings that have roofs. That being said, in the first person mode, I still feel like I'm too close to the ground and it's a really weird feeling and I tried to avoid it. Also, while we're talking about things that are a little fiddly, the buggy was quite difficult to control some of the time, especially in the final level where you're using it. Not as much once you're using it just on the main island for fun after the main game. But it was very fun to drive around when you did get it working properly, and once you figured out the controls, it worked better. Also, this game has a couple of small paid expansions or DLC. They fall into that weird category where I'm not quite sure what to call it. They added a couple extra mini islands and some building content packs. I think they're about $10 each where I live, and while I bought them because, man, I was 100 hours into this game and still having fun, I don't regret it. I adore the game. I thought, you know what, I'll give them my extra money. I'm okay with that, as much as I don't really like paying for DLC. Expansions are different. This felt a little more like DLC. Doesn't matter. However, $30 total for these. I think $25 if you buy them, like, all three together. Depending on how much fun you have with the game, how much you like the building, how much after main game content you want to explore, they might not actually be worth it for you, because that's an extra like $25-$30 on an $80 game. So, you know, just a heads up. I thought it was worth it. I think they're tons of fun, but for some other people, maybe they won't. Who knows? In the end, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It moved me, it kept me awake playing it late into the night, even though I value the little sleep that I am able to get, and it thoroughly enchanted me with its characters. It's a complete time sink. The main story took me about 70 or 80 hours, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing and/or check me out on other platforms. I also run a booktube channel and a blog that is full of my writing. All the links are in the description below. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. I keep stepping on a coin and it's making noise. Why do I still have pennies in my house?